Asato ma satgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityurma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. O Mother, hold our hand. Take us from unreal to real. Take us from darkness of ignorance to the light of the wisdom, to the brilliance. Take us from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Jai Guru, welcome. Welcome everyone. Dear devotees, our dearest loving Thursday. We wait for the 1 week and from Sunday, 3 days to have this session with us. This is heart to heart. This is soul to soul exchange. I was just reading Swami Vivekananda was getting ready for a talk in US, and the lady who was the organizer who was asking, Swamiji, we are getting late. Swamiji looked at her in his usual magnanimous drawl, said, Madam, you live on time. I live on eternity. I live on eternity. Swami Vivekananda's. I was reflecting on that word. If you look carefully, hey, you and I got limited and like that lady living on time. Why? Because from birth onwards we put ourselves a name, Robbin Ghosh. And the moment I put myself a name, I get limited to this body, to the mind, to the form, and to my function and the gender. I am limited now. Whereas what Vivekananda means by I live in eternity is what does it mean? Is I have no binding, no bound. I am the Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi is what Vivekananda is saying. That means there is no limitation of vastu, object, no limitation of space, and no limitation of time. Remember the definition of Brahman? You and I are limited in time because we put a name. You and I are limited by this body because we put or encase ourselves and not by the consciousness which is infinite, which is Brahman, which is you and I. But we can. My aim of bringing out this with a short session of today's is to say you and I can be infinite. And this is what we are singing, the first prayer song to the Mother. Take us from unreal to real. What is unreal? Unreal is what is limited. We are real. Real is infinite. Because we are the awareness, we are the consciousness. Now you and I being a Vedanta student, fellow travelers, we know there is a devotee listening to a guru in Uttaranchal and said, wait a minute, sir. You are there, I am here. आप वहां हो, मैं यहां हूं. हम कैसे अनंत हो सकता है? हम तो इधर से उठ के उधर नहीं जा सकते. अगर चल पड़े तो जाएंगे. एक ही टाइम दोनों जगह में थोड़ी है. I can't be both places at the same time. So the Guru answered instantly, Aha! आप वहां है या यहां है, दोनों ही आपके अंदर नहीं है. आपके अंदर meaning that thing that you are there and you are here. Isn't it both in your awareness? If you look carefully, the whole universe, whole world, whether that's Switzerland or Himalaya, or you go to a beautiful zoo or a park or a picture, whatever it is, isn't it you're seeing it within you? How within you? I see with my eyes and ears and senses. No. What do you mean no? Think. You are looking at me. Your eyes are picking up what? A shape and a color and a texture and listening to the voice. And the eyes go and feed the data through the optical nerve, and it sends tiny, tiny particles of electricity of this picture to the brain, upside down. And the brain sends it right way up to the mind. So senses to the brain to the mind. Mind, brain and the senses, do you recollect our earlier session, has no power at all. Like this light, this air condition, this microphone, this computer, this mobile has no power. But they all are powered, all have different function. Air condition, different function, computer, different function, mobile, computer, light, different function. But all are powered by one thing common called electricity. Just like that, all of us, all life forms on this universe are covered by one power called consciousness. And that consciousness is what Vivekananda means is infinite. I live in infinity. And you and I can do that. How do we do that? It's lovely to do that. Why lovely to do that? Because if you do that, when you're aware all the time, you're aware all the time that I'm not limited by this body, name, form, function. What happens is your consciousness is powering the mind. That mind is called subconscious mind or the reflective consciousness. The moment reflection of the consciousness powers the mind. That mind is called reflective consciousness now. And that reflective consciousness is the one which is powering the brain and powers the senses. It is like the moon is throwing the light to the earth. You see in a full moonlight the earth, and you say to your friend and wife and husband, family, what beautiful moonlight. Full moon, big giant moon. What beautiful moonlight. But that's a wrong statement, isn't it? Moon doesn't have its light. There is no moonlight. It is the sun's light reflecting through the moon. You can say sun's light or sun's light reflecting through the moon to be accurate. Similarly, it is the consciousness which is reflecting through the mind, brain and the senses which is giving us this infinite possibility. Today, I wish to do two things. One is for you to become aware of this. How would it help? Because you can, whether you got a little cut, or you got a little financial problem, or a little sickness, or a little migraine, or a little relationship problem, or a little neighborly issues, whatever, you can sort it out and instantly just becoming aware. Just being aware that consciousness is the power of Ishvara. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman. Taittiriya Upanishad definition of consciousness. Brahman. Brahman is Ishvara. Brahman is consciousness. That Chit is Chaitana. Is you and I. Body, name, form, function, they change. You've heard this discussion. Whatever is change and whatever is constant cannot be one. Body keeps changing, but I have remained same. I am the consciousness. I have always remained. When I was a baby, I was one. Body has kept on changing, but I have remained. That I has had suffering, disease, sickness, bodily or mental trouble, anger, love, jealousy. But I have remained same. Mind has changed, body has changed. Aging, body will die, body will be burned. I will remain. Which I is that? That consciousness. That I always remains. And if that I has on this sojourn on earth has done some phenomenal work, then that I will remain immortal. Simple people, Steve Jobs, he no more, his body is no more. But Steve Jobs is not dead. When you touch that Apple computer, you remember Steve Jobs. or the Apple phone. Let's say, very simple, Thomas Alva Edison, 1083 invention till today, the largest invention ever done by one person. He is not dead. Tesla, not dead. And now talk about Indian great masters, Tagore, Vivekananda, Paramahansa, Ramana Maharshi, Guru Nanak, Guru Gobind Ji, Mahavir Jain, Buddha. Are they dead? No. They're immortal. You, I, our family, our children can become immortal. All we have to do is align ourselves and do selfless act for the other people. Look at all these people. What have they done? They've given their life for what? Other people. So, with this, I want you to start to take on a little covering of very interesting I wanted to share with you, though it is little different than the topic, is the life of Leo Tolstoy, but it is applicable here. Leo Tolstoy, you remember the famous philosopher and writer. Leo Tolstoy is the guy who wrote War and Peace and Anna Karenina. Leo Tolstoy was a very professional, great philosopher and writer. And Leo Tolstoy is, he was very knowledgeable, philosophy, science, in whatever field you talk about. And he was very rich. He was very affluent, great farmland. He was married to a wonderful wife. He had a wonderful family. And yet, when he turned 50, something started to happen. And the connection between Leo Tolstoy and Vivekananda and this consciousness is, he started asking, why are we here? Why am I born on this earth? Who loves me? Who wants me? Though he had a loving wife and a loving family, why should I live? Imagine, he had everything good, like Buddha. He left everything to create the meaning of suffering and find a solution. Same thing, Leo Tolstoy started to first wanting to commit suicide at the age of 50. And then he took a turn. He started to go into philosophy. He read everyone, starting from Confucius to Plato and things like that those days. And he kept on reading. And then he went to science. And he went and became a great philosopher and writer. He's writing a wonderful story, a parable. He's saying, in life I was chased by a wild monster beast. So I was running away from the beast, and beast was chasing me. And suddenly I found a well. So I wanted to jump into the well to escape from the beast. And as I jumped into the well, I found at the bottom of the well, a dragon has opened his jaw wide to swallow me whole. So luckily, as I was falling down and down, I found a branch from one end of the well to the other end. I caught hold of the branch with both hands, and I was saved from sheer death. So one side is the life chasing me philosophically. The other side is the death, is the dragon. And I'm holding on to the branch. And suddenly Leo Tolstoy says, I suddenly found that the leaves of the branch had honey stuck onto it. Sweet nectar. He says, for a while, I got deviated from the haunting monster up there and the death down there. And I started to sip the nectar from the leaf. He said, I got totally enchanted onto the honey of life. So philosophically, he says, death is always there in our life. Accident, misery, suffering, poverty, and death by accident. And down there, death is always waiting. The fact that you're born, you will die. But he says, in between is the life. And in that life is the beautiful statement. And then, today I want to share with you a beautiful book called The Imitation of Christ. This is by Thomas E. Kempis. You know why I'm talking about this book? This book was Thomas E. Kempis wrote this book. This book, amongst all sects and churches, Christmas is coming up. You and I should know a little bit more about Christianity. And do you know, along with the Bible, this is considered to be one of the most important and artfully put the teachings of the Christ. And this teachings of the Christ, as if Christ is talking to the disciple, and Thomas E. Kempis has written that. In the Bible itself, Thomas has written very artfully arranged it in a beautiful flow. He was a Catholic monk living in Germany about 600 years ago. About 600 years ago. In Germany, a German monk lived a very simple life. Very simple, isolated life of a monk. And he wrote a number of wonderful books and very revered, respected by everyone. He was very studious, very prayerful, always thinking of God. And his devout life, he is written this book. And you know what? These are the words of the Christ. And at some time, he has arranged it so well that it has flown through so beautifully that it attracts you. You know, not only that, Swami Vivekananda loved this book. Swami Vivekananda, when he traveled all around India on foot, he traveled from Kanyakumari to right up to the north and Himalayas and back. When he traveled on foot, he carried two books. One was Bhagavad Gita and the other one this book. So it interested me to see that this imitation of Christ, why did he like it so much? And you know, he liked it so much that he started translating it in Bengali, and it was named as Krishtara Anukaruna. Krishtara, Christ is Christ. Krishtara Anukaruna was the name that he had given. You know, this book is wonderful. It's counsel, advices which is given of spiritual life, earthly life, physical life, emotional life, enjoying life, and financial life, and relationship life, and so many. But spiritual life is the relationship of the spirit. And this is where I connected you with Leo Tolstoy, because he talked a lot about the spirit, that the spirit within is the getting connection. His Thomas A. Kempis's words on spirit are so inspiring, very pleasing words to anybody who has a love for God, who is a devotee, who thinks there is something which is more powerful. Anybody who loves God has a spiritual inclination like you and me. That's why we are listening. It is inspiring, calming, and purifying. And it quotes from the Bible often, like he quotes from John in this book. Bible, John. He quotes Christ's words. He who follows me shall not walk in darkness. He who follows me, Christ is telling, shall not walk in darkness. You remember, sometimes back I quoted to you that from this book, somebody came and said, Jesus Christ, I don't want pain, I don't want suffering. Can you tell me how to be in peace with my life? Jesus said, my child, if you want peace in life, do these four things. One, Strive to have less than more. We're doing just the opposite, wanting more, more, and more. He said, if you want peace, my child, strive to have less than more. Second, he says, strive to be last than first. The moment we say, you are very happy if you're the last type. He is not meeting about the last in the class. He means last meaning, supposing you are standing in the queue to eat food or a dinner party or something. He says, serve everybody else in life then before you go for yourself serving. Strive to be last than to be first. Otherwise, you will find people will, push you around and go right into the front to the ticket man and something like that. No, everywhere. Third is 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 something. Is it always aim to let others' will be done. If you want peace, my child, let others' will, what they are wanting, let it be. If you want peace. Christ's word. Thomas E. Kemp is writing. And the fourth one is always know that there is a supreme Lord, God is waiting. His grace is always there. Remember, I talk to you often from Bhagavad Gita and from Vedanta, that this grace of God, Divine Mother is always there. A fisherman rowing away, sweating, and a guru is sitting on the boat. He says, why are you sweating? You don't understand, Gurudev. I have to row the boat. I have to take you across to the other side. Gurudev says, why don't you raise the sail? Paal kyun nahi chada dete? The moment you put the sail, now the wind of grace, wind will take the boat across smoothly. All you have to do is just hold the rudder and guide the boat. That's all you and I have to do. I would love to read out something small from here. And this is from chapter 1, book 1, chapter 1, para 3, in which he's saying, what good does it do then to declare about the Trinity, or if by lack of humanity you are displeasing to the Trinities? Meaning, you may read a lot of book, you may read the whole Bible, but what if you have no love for God? You may read Bible or Bhagavad Gita or Quran, but if you have no love for God, what good is it? You may have lots of huge, like these books all around. It reminds me of me. Just having the books is nothing. You have to have love for God. He's saying here, what good would it do without God's love and grace? First is love for God and grace. So, Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, Vedanta. Listen, good words, godly words from Guru, from teacher, from YouTube. Mananam, reflect, ask questions, write questions and answers to those who have been listening to. Reflect upon it, read more. And Nididhyasanam, meditate on it and make it your own. Notice he's writing, vanity of vanities, and all is vanity, except to love God and to serve only Him. Vanity, vanity, vanity is falsity. Just vanity for money, vanity for bodily pleasures, vanity for food, vanity for earning money, vanity for having more. And he says this is the highest wisdom, love for God. So Advaita Vedanta, how do you tackle with that? Advaita Vedanta does not delineate from God. This is why Advaita Vedanta, Shankaracharya, is the Guru's Guru, and his Guru, Govindapada's Guru, Gaudapada first, then Govindapada, then Shankaracharya. They have absolute no hesitation to write about Mother Saraswati, Divine Mother Durga, and also Advaita Vedanta. So where is God? He's within you and within me. So see God in everyone. This is called seeing consciousness in everything. There is another lovely chapter. I will read it to you on Sunday. And this is of the teaching of truth. This is book 1, chapter 5. Teaching of truth. He says, "Oh God, the truth, make me one with you in endless love." Oh God, the truth. God and the truth is only one. Make me one with you in endless love. Love for you, O God. In other words, love for truth. If you and I can establish truth in our life, even in a joke, we don't tell a lie. God, Supreme Divinity, the Vedanta, the consciousness, you will lead a different life. And you know what will happen? As per Vedanta, 12 years, if you live with truth alone, no speaking, thinking of lies, then whatever you speak, this is called Satya Pratishta. You've established truth in your life. God alone will come down and make it true. Just because you say, God, please give this lady, she wants a baby. Let her have a baby. And that lady, 12 years, no baby, crying. I want a baby. I'm married for 12 years. God, please give her your blessing. And you'll be surprised, she will. Or somebody's sick. Somebody's having tremendous pain and the suffering. You pray for them. Or a terrible financial situation. Create one. Most important in this, believe in yourself. Believe in that consciousness within you and within the other person. Jai Gurudev and Jai Guru. We'll see you on coming Sunday.